this last encounter I was wanting to share is shortly after that last one was I saw I was worshiping this. All these happen for me whenever I'm worshiping Jesus and I'm just focused on him, and I probably have some soaking music going. And I saw Jesus, and he was this time he had this kind of a typical robe on. A lot of times when I see him, he's wearing like bohemian style clothes, or he's wearing jeans, or he's wearing something else. But this time he actually had on the typical robe, like what you'd picture Jesus. And when I saw him a little bit off from the distance again, I saw him. And so that again is your encounter. You can either stop there and not go any closer, or you can go closer. And so when I saw him, I was watching him, and he had this light that was around him, and it was moving, and it was circling around him. And it was like big, wide ribbons of light that was just wrapping around him, not wrapping him like a mummy, but wrapping around, kind of like he was on the outside of him, just wrapping, going around and around him. And it was so incredible. And he saw me, and he looks up at me and smiles, because, he sees you, you're there. So he wants you to come closer. Don't stop there, come closer. And so I ran up to him. And when I ran up to him, he opened his arms out, and I ran into him. And as he wrapped his arms around me, he was just wrapping this love and this light around me. And I wrapped my arms around his waist and put my head on his chest. And he was just hugging me, and he just had me wrapped in his arms. And this light that was around him and just so much love was just engulfing me. And he, because you have your soul, you have issues, you have issues. He knows you have issues, and he's okay with that. Still come to him,
Yes.
And so I didn't know I had any issues when I came to him. I was just Jesus, and I ran, and as he wrapped his arms around me, he said, light heals. It heals. Open up and let the light heal you. And so, because you can come to Jesus, and you can kind of like, I'm going to come to you, but I'm not going to open up. I'm not going to let you in. I'm not going to, and so I guess at that time when I was coming to him, my heart was closed. My emotions were closed. And so he said, open up. My light will heal you. And as oh yeah, that's right. You're nice. Jesus is really nice. He really is. He's not mean. He's not angry. He doesn't yell, and so I would just he had to remind me, oh yeah, you're nice. You're safe. You're a safe place. And so as I kind of let my walls down, let my defenses down, and opened up, I could feel his love going into me, and all this bitterness and this anger and this disappointment and the discouragement that I had carried while I was wrapped in his love and in this light was just going. It was just leaving me. I was just like, I felt so refreshed. I felt so healed and so loved. It was incredible. And so when I came back out of that encounter, I was just like, I didn't even know I was carrying it. I didn't even know that I had anger, or that I was feeling disappointed, or I was feeling discouraged, until you come into the presence of Jesus. And so his presence, that's why he wants you to have these encounters. You don't have to, quote 3 Hail Marys and cross glass and plead the blood and, quote the scriptures and sing 3 hymns. Just come to him. Come to him the way you are. And he'll fix you. He knows how to fix you.
Amen.
He'll pour his love into you. And it was just incredible. So whenever I came out of that, I was just like, wow, I feel so much better. I feel so loved and so light. And it was just incredible. The love of Jesus is just so incredible.
Yes.
And you may share the encounter at the camper that I had.
Well, I keep thinking when you said that, I keep thinking, he says, "Come to me, all those who are thirsty. Come to me, all those who are heavy laden and burdened." And a lot of times in life, just because we live in a fallen world and, people unknowingly make mistakes, or maybe someone was supposed to call you and they didn't call you. And even that can get in you and you don't realize, like, that's
Right.
something, or maybe even a family member, you can have some type of problem, or someone at work, and you don't realize the impact that that can really have on you until, like you said, Kim, when you get into the presence of the Lord and you start meeting with him and loving him, and he does literally take those burdens and he lifts them off of you. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize that this was what this was doing to me until I was in your presence, until I started pouring my love on you and setting my affections on heavenly things, setting my affections upon the Lord. I didn't even realize I had this. I think we all have that all the time. And that's why
Right.
continually being with him is, I mean, it's the solution to so many things. Jesus
It
is
is.
the answer.
It really is. Yeah, and
Mhm.
being in his presence is just so, and it's sometimes people when they're hurt, and when you're hurt or bitter, you're mad at the world, you don't last thing you want to do used to be the last thing that you want to do is go to God. When
Right.
because you're mad, you don't want to go to God because he's nice and
Mhm.
happy and stuff. And you're like, I'm mad, and I'm going to stay mad. I'm going to stay in my mad spot. I'm going to stay right here in my mad
Right.
place. And I'm just
Mhm.
going to let this fester for a while. But
Mhm.
as but just one, as they say, just one touch of Jesus and all that is gone.
Yeah,
And just, and
true.
then, like you said, it can be the simple things. It can be that simple conversation that you had with your family member that has put a wound in you.
Mhm.
And if you would spend time at night. So I usually spend time in the morning and at night with Jesus. I guess I have a lot of issues. So I have to double dip. But and so you can go to bed with a clean heart and full of love and just. But